I'm Dylla, and I have the pleasure of going first, or maybe it's not a pleasure, but also the pleasure of my paintings being in here, and you're forced to look at them while we all speak. So, against my better judgment, I wrote this talk down. I feel like I give way better talks just speaking, but being that I give an art exhibition talk maybe once every 3 or 4 years when I finish enough paintings to have one, I figured I wouldn't be able to enjoy the opening unless I wrote it down, so I hope I don't sound too robotic. But a lot of the work in this show is inspired by the ideas presented by German philosopher Martin Heidegger in his essay, The Question Concerning Technology. He postulates, it is as revealing and not as manufacturing that Techne is a bringing forth. Technology comes to presence in the realm where revealing and unconcealment take place, where aletheia, truth, happens. And I hope I didn't butcher the Greek pronunciation too much, because he uses the Greek word techne, which is the name not only for technology, but the activities and skills of the craftsman, but also the art of the mind and the fine arts. So I seek to investigate this revealing that he speaks about through an exploration of the space between science and art. I seek to reconcile these two disciplines in such a way that scientific innovation comes full circle to create a new type of haunting or artistic presence by using a method evidencing of human creation and a medium laden with hundreds of years of human tradition to explore the visual identity of technology. I was looking at the paintings of Edward Hopper and how by pushing the light into dramatic shapes, he creates this kind of cold, alien hush. And I seek also to bring this inhuman coldness, as if the machines reside without a user in a distinct mechanical presence. I do this through a push and pull of virtual space with light, creating virtual reflected color and shapes within this geometry. A simple curve finds a much more complex visual presence in the specularity. In this way, though the human involvement is purposely vanquished from the subject matter, it comes to being with a new type of liveliness manifested through the material properties. Donna Haraway addresses this in the Cyborg Manifesto when she says, "We find our machines ever livelier and ourselves frighteningly inert." I'm also toying with this idea through another juxtaposition of seeming opposites, hyperrealism and the abstract. Due to the nature of my subject matter, I started working from photographs, but I take large, zoomed out, often blurry compositions and then crop small geometric passages from a larger scene. These passages I would choose based on abstract elements, bits of line, color, curve, manipulations of space. That to me is what these compositions are about. Though from afar or in pictures they may appear photorealist, if you look at them closely, they're actually quite loose and evidenced of the material. The imagery is in that way not so different in my mind from what Mondrian was addressing. Bright, basic colors, line, shape, and I constantly seek to make these shapes in whatever I paint, much like Morandi or Dimitkorn. So where I feel this art has the most in common with physics is this place: space, light, line, material, energy. It's all dealing with this, though it may be temporally still. I grew up around the world of physics. I'm sure most of you know my father. So when I initially chose this as my imagery, it felt only natural. I remember being 4 years old looking at the tokamak fusion reactor at Princeton and being fascinated by the shape of the machine. It was just that the things I saw in Star Wars were less alien than the things I grew up around in real life. When I was in college, I sought to continue to find an overlap between my passions for science and art, so I studied computer graphics. Writing ray tracing algorithms and discovering the equations that made something appear the way it did, an interaction of light source, material properties, and lenses, made me infinitely fascinated with reflections and specularity. My first series of paintings depicted the cryomodules and helium refrigerators that were part of the particle accelerator